Welcome back. Laura Bello is a singer from Granada, Spain, who mixes her music and her native flamenco with jazz and Latin American rhythms. Her last hit was a compilation of poems from the famous author Federico Garcia Lorca. But she is also a psychologist and writer working on many music projects with female prison inmates, children, and music therapy initiatives around the world. Here is my conversation with Laura Bello.
Abro mis brazos, siento que el viento me lleva, el universo inunda mi alma con estrellas.
Laura, you are from Granada, Spain. Can you tell us what it was like growing up there and living there, and how has that influenced your music?
I think most of my music and all the things I want to say with my music and my art are related to the city that I grew up in, Granada. And even without, I didn't want to put in my music all the cultures because, you know, like, just to do it. It happened suddenly when I started to compose, because there is like a city with many cultures historically, and so all the Arabic influence, there are many Arabic musicians there from Morocco, and I was used to work with them. So when I started to compose, it came this flamenco and Arabic music. And also there are some music from here. There is like a big community of jazz musicians. And so it came everything together. So I think my city is like my roots, the roots of my music.
People have impressions of your style and your art, but how would you describe your style of music?
It's very difficult. I actually don't like very much labels, so I don't know. Some people call it world music because it has some world rhythms, but I just call it music. I would say it's music from Granada, it's music from the Mediterranean Sea, it's flamenco with some jazz and some Arabic influences.
Your work seems to have a greater meaning than just the music. There's a social aspect to it. You help inmates, you help nature and agriculture. Can you talk to us about your work and the inspiration behind it?
Yes, I moved to New York like 5 years ago, and I liked very much jazz, and I wanted to study jazz. But then I arrived to the city, and I found like many colors from Latin America, from some rhythms that I didn't know because they are not so known in Spain. So first I started to look for jazz musicians in the city that they can, where music is a little bit influenced by jazz. But then I started to meet all these rhythms that I put in my music, like this landó from Peru and chacarera and everything. So usually I work more with musicians that has this jazz, very deep jazz knowledge, but also they have some Latin American or Spanish roots because they bring to my music another groove and movement.
Your work seems to have greater meaning than just the music. There seems to be a social aspect to it. Can you talk about the inspiration behind your work?
Yeah, I think music is more than just music, as people think, oh, what, how you think you can help with the art? And we don't know exactly how important it is, the music and the art in general. So we work in different workshops, and the music makes the people express themselves, realize about things, connect, because I love to find links between things, and in this case also links between cultures. With my music we went to Syria, we went to Damascus before all this thing happened, and there were women that they thought, she was telling us like, yeah, I thought everybody had a bad idea about us, you know, because of this Muslim situation. But you came here with your music that is very close to our music. So she was like crying there. So I don't know, it has many aspects. Also in Granada, as you said, we are trying to protect the nature around the city because it's important. It's the agriculture area of the city. So I just came back from a big festival there that we did many things trying to support and to make the European Union make this area protected. So almost possible already. So
You also have a lot of poetry in your music. Can you talk about the meaning behind the poetry and why you decided to work with it?
Granada also had this poetry because there were so many Arabic poets, but also is this international poet Federico Garcia Lorca that he was living in New York. He was living also in La Habana and Buenos Aires, so he's like more international. And when I arrived to New York, there is the Lorca's route, where Lorca came to study at Columbia University. We do like a little route of some places he was visiting. In the area of Columbia University, there is also like cultural center that he was used to go and play piano. So this, I was used to work with his poetry when I was teenager, and then it's okay, it's there in my music, but I didn't touch it so concretely, Lorca. And now it came back, so everything is a little bit related. He wrote many poems about La Vega, which is this area of Granada protected now, like we are trying to protect. So yes, I think poetry is connected with the music totally, and I try to like words and sounds, I try to match them as good as I can.
Laura Bello, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lara Bello is now working with author Tariq in a musical based on the book Shadows of the Pomegranate Tree. It's the story of a family trying to survive the collapse of their world during the fall of Granada. The first presentation will take place in July.